And here we are in the second month of quiet. I guess we should see what everyone has to say. You spot Cal and Tammy in the garden. Tammy is sitting on the fence with Cal leaning against it beside her. They seem in deep conversation as you watch as Cal reaches up and tucks a lock of Tammy's pink hair behind her ear. Cal spots you and smiles, causing Tammy to look over at you and blush. "Hey, Solanna," Cal says. "What's up? Do you need me for something?" "No." "Hey, Dad." Your dad takes a big breath of air. "Ah, this is real living," he says grandly. "Sometimes I wake up thinking we're still hurtling through space on the Strato, and I'm just so jazzed when I remember we're here, on a real planet." He slaps you on the back. "Never take this for granted, kiddo." "I won't, even if it is kind of scary." You haven't seen your mom at mealtimes for a while. You're probably just missing her. She works really hard here, so she's likely working through lunch and dinner and then begging for leftovers in the kitchen. "Well, then I'll stay in the kitchens this month and make sure that she gets food." And I guess we can see what Tammy has to say. Tammy beams when she sees you, like there's nothing better in the world than the sight of your face. "Happy birthday, Solanna," she exclaims. She comes in for her annual birthday hug, throwing her arms around you and giving her a great big squeeze. "Here, I got this for you." She takes a step back and reaches into one of the many deep pockets of her dress, producing a little paper box. "I made you this," she laughs, opening it to reveal a little snack-sized cake. It's only a soy cake, but it's a soy cake made just for you. You take a bite. Okay, it tastes like a regular soy cake too. Tammy did what she could with what the colony has. Tammy watches you eat the cake with a look of delight. "You can share it if you want," she hints, smiling sweetly. "If that would make you happy." "Yeah, I'll share it with my mom." You enjoy your treat and thank Tammy for her thoughtful present, both hug and the cake. She smiles and claps her hands. "Of course, Solanna, it's your birthday after all." You and Tammy bake a pretty cake. You're anything but lazy in the kitchen. How many mushwoods do I have? 2? That's not enough. Nope. Okay, that's still not enough. I mean, we're gonna have to take a break anyways soon, so I guess we'll push through. And I definitely need a break, so I guess maybe I'll just relax in the lounge. Lots of kids treat the lounge as an informal study hall, especially Tangent, and Mars too, sometimes if she's trying to impress Tangent. You crack open a textbook on your holopalm and read about some old dead Earth poets. Just because you're not in class doesn't mean you can't read ahead a little bit. And I don't really need a 0-point thing. And now it's the pollens, and I've cleared my mind. I've got no stress or worries, with a 10% chance to get a bonus +1 when increasing skill. Nice! There's Tammy and Cal, and a mushwood log, and it looks like Dad has something to say. You can hear your dad sneeze all the way from engineering. It's explosive, like he's trying to scare away predators. He's wiping his nose as you approach on a handkerchief bottled shimmering pink. Lately, he's also surrounded by a fine dusting of pink pollen that clings to him wherever he goes. You keep brushing the glitter off things in your quarters. He gives you a hug, then brushes pollen off your shoulder, laughing self-consciously. You haven't heard him laugh much lately. He's been working hard trying to improve the colony's food supply. He's showing signs of malnourishment too, though your mom is worse. You're worried for both of them. Your dad's skin is kind of shiny in patches. He sees you staring and rubs his hands over his arms. Sparkling dust poofs off him in little clouds, scintillating in the light. Oh yeah, that's a new symptom, he says. Seems harmless though. You should stay inside. Your dad laughs. You and your mom, two soybeans in a pod. She said the same thing. You wait for him to follow up with some explanation for why he's not listening to both of you. He doesn't. He just turns his attention back to his work. Your dad sniffles. Gosh, I feel like someone's stuffed a whole potato pod up my nose, he says. Like I could just poke a stick up there and pop! Fresh potato juice. Ugh, Dad, gross. He just grins. What? It's true. You follow his gaze out to the fields, and it lands outside the gate. I wonder if the foragers could use an extra hand, he muses to himself. No, you need to stay inside. Yeah, maybe I'll join them out there. No! Neither of your parents are taking proper care of themselves. They're so stressed out from the poor harvest and low food supplies. They try not to let you see it, but you can tell. Maybe your dad is right. A little seasonal illness is nothing compared to the danger of running out of food. And in that case, though, I think I'll work in engineering to see how they're coming along with that cure. You're headed off to a lunch break when you see Mars and Tang sitting together in the engineering break room. Tang is eating a sandwich while scrolling on her holopalm with it. And Mars is half collapsed on the table, barely holding her head up on her hand as she pouts at Tang. On, she whines. You said we were gonna hang out after lunch. Are you done eating yet? Tang takes a slow, deliberate bite of her sandwich and chews while making eye contact with Mars. It goes from funny to awkward to hilarious as Mars's face falls and she puts her head on the table and groans. Proper mastication is important for digestive health, Tang answers firmly, smile curling at the corner of her mouth. You can masticate in private, Mars mutters. What are you reading and how is it more important than me, your best and only friend on the planet? Just something for work, Tang answers. It's really interesting. I didn't know Dr. Instance was so well published, even though she was only 25 when the Strata left Earth. She was practically a prodigy like me. She looks at her holoscreen again. It's absolutely fascinating. We're so lucky to have such an accomplished researcher here on Vertumna. Well, now I'm curious. You take a seat at the table and sneak a look at Tang's screen. You catch a few words. Recombinism, tissue tropism, RNA, protein sheets, intrinsic immunity, maybe something to do with viruses? From the pictures, it possibly also fungi? Without further explanation, it's hard to tell. Tang notices you looking and shuts off her holopalm, shooting you a cool look. Is it something to do with the shimmer sickness? Mars wonders aloud. Wait, I want to learn about macrophages. Oh, +2 friendship with Tang and helped tangent. Tang looks startled, but pleased. She turns her holopalm back on and tilts it so you can read along. It's dense, but interesting. It's definitely about viruses that affect fungi. I didn't know you were interested in Instance's older work as well, Solanna. Tang says, perhaps we could work together to parse the next section. It's particularly challenging. OMG, nerds! Mars laughed. Look at you two eggheads. Better you than me. Tang graces you with a small, thankful smile. You've been eating for like half an hour, Tang. Come on. Mars says, pulling her hands down her face. Please, can we go do something fun before the rampaging Xeno eats us? We're both too pretty to die of boredom. Tang smiles. You think I'm pretty, Mars? She asks, seeming genuinely curious. Mars sets her hand on top of Tang's. The prettiest, she swears, her other hand over her heart. Even prettier than me. Well, I mean, I win in the looks department, but I think smart women get, like, extra points. Tang says, putting her hand on top of Mars' hand, and leaning in to fix Mars with an unusually flirtatious expression. Yes, do tell me about all my great beauty, she deadpans. It's all I live for. Mars laughs and tosses her hair over her shoulder, and you tune them out in favor of eating your lunch before you're expected back in engineering. Ah! There. You're at lunch with your parents, sliced soy cakes and watery broth again. Great. When they put down their cutlery, they look at each other. then you. Solanna, your mom says, there's something we should tell you. We've tried to shelter you from some things, but we think you should know why we've been working so hard in geoponics. There's a meeting after lunch, and I want you to come with us. I already know about the food. Your parents exchange surprised looks. What, you do? Your mom asks, how? You scramble to explain that they haven't exactly been subtle. The announcement at Vertumna, plus how stressed they've been, you can put the pieces together. No, you didn't live it in a dream of a past life. Your mom smiles. Our little girl is more mature than I realized. Still, I want you there. I don't know. I mean, it seems scary, but I guess it is good to know what's going on for sure. You follow your parents to the council room. Mars has also tagged along and takes a seat near them as your mom and Auntie Seaton stand to address the council. After Utica officially calls the meeting, she gestures to your mom. I'm not going to mince words, your mom says firmly. All of our efforts to increase food production in geoponics have failed, especially given the failure of the pixie beans. The destruction of the fields during the last attack put the nail in our coffin. By the end of the year, the colony will run out of food. What? No, didn't I help in the research department? The rest of the council murmurs in concern. You and Mars exchange horrified looks. You've been doomsaying about our food supply for 2 years, Flulu, Rhett questions. Do you mean to say we're past the point of no return? Your mother nods grimly. I'm afraid so. Even with rationing, without securing a Vertumnan food source, our supplies will run out by wet season. She gestures to Anne, whose face is grave. Anne and I have gone over the supplies and have come up with food plans. We've crunched the numbers. Your mom sighs and spreads her hands. I'm sorry. Geoponics should have been producing better by now. We should have been able to wean ourselves off the soy rations. During the wormhole transit, we lost our hydroponics in the hull breach. She sighs again. I know I've said it so many times, but our crops just don't grow here. We need those algae tanks. We needed the microbial soil from Earth. But it's not Mom's fault. It's not. The survival of the colony shouldn't rest on one person's shoulders. It's not fair. She's been working harder than anyone. She did everything she could. The council mumbles agreement. You decide they probably never really blamed her or your dad. The only holdout is Mars, who crosses her arms and grumbles that it's clearly a problem with leadership. Oh really? And what would you do, Mars? So what do we do now? Instance asks. Starving to death isn't an option. No, it isn't, your mom replies. We need to secure a food source this year, before our rations run out. We're working double shifts in geoponics, but it's not enough. We need more people planting, tending, turning the soil. We need more hands. Then I'll come help. I can pull back the surveyors and focus on foraging native plants, Utopia offers. Even the young folks can help if they've proven themselves around the survey equipment. I'll send out a holo message later. This has been the burden of geoponics for too long, Utica says. It's time we all step up for our future. The council nods in agreement. Your stomach rumbles ominously. And we've gained the status of starving. How wonderful. I guess we'll be going to go help our parents in geoponics next time.